Hey, it's Andreas, and I've been investing for over 10 years. Today's a special day, I'm turning 30, so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to talk a bit about how to reach a six figure salary. More regarding the mindset here, because there's a certain thought process that goes into it, and I think everybody can reach it. Most people are intelligent enough, but a lot of people are a bit lazy in this regard. But hopefully, this video will give you a lot of guidance and a clear path towards the six figure salary. So, you gotta think of it from the business perspective. They look at all the employees, you're just a number. Are you a number that's bringing in income, or are you just a cost position on the income statement? And we see this all over, with roles that are support roles that are not core to the business, that's not important to the revenue, being outsourced to, for example, Poland. I've seen it in multiple companies that I worked in the past, and they don't really get salary increases either because you're just a cost position. This would be, for example, your sales support, your administrative roles. You don't really get a lot of appreciation. Whereas if you're, I like to say, close to the cash flow of the company, if you're bringing in income, and let me really exemplify this. For example, I did internship with City when I was younger. This is one of the places where I got some of these insights. And I would see investment bankers being tiered in different tiers. You had the analysts, that's the lowest paid, just making slides. And then you would have some sort of staffer that would make sure that the analysts made slides. And then you would have the more senior roles that went out to companies. They would liaisons, they would talk, and they would convince them that they needed to make a merger, acquisition, some type of deal. And then the analysts would make the slides for the presentations here, basically for the customers. But they would go out there and they would bring in the customer, and that's why they were paid the big bucks. Only investment banking, you say, Andreas? No. I did some internships as well, some early stage roles in management consulting, making the slides, doing the research, doing the projects for customers. And who was the person making the big bucks? Well, it was the partners, the ones who had the network, who knew the decision makers in companies who would go out, who would sell the projects basically and make sure that, all right, we look at your business, how you can become more lean. And then as a junior consultant, I make all the slides on why you need to fire people basically. Hey, that's management consulting for you. But close to the cash flow, once again, bringing in the business, that's where the big bucks are. And the same now working in tech sales, commission based, not based on time. No, that's not the input, it's result that matters, just getting commission off of sales. And you can think about this in terms of engineering as well. If you're an engineering student and you're looking to start working at a company, what type of product will you be working on? What type of service? Will it be some sort of moonshot goal? Well, then in tough times like this, those type of projects get cut and you sort of lose your job. Whereas if you're on core revenue, for example, I used to work in Google on the search side selling ads, and there were no layoffs in the people working with the search engine. That's the core business. They didn't see any layoffs. And it's the same in other places. And before this whole slowdown in the economy, then nobody would believe that. They would say, Andreas, what are you talking about? I'm an engineer. It doesn't matter if I work on this moonshot self-driving car or if I'm doing this other core project. I'm doing, what I'm paid to do, and it will always be like that. Well, now that things are slowing down, we're seeing that it's starting to matter again. Are you close to the cash flow? That's the only question that you need to ask yourself. And when you bring in money for the company, well, then you tend to be rewarded for that as well. So that's the way to think to reach that six-figure salary. B, something that's good on the income statement and the company will reward you for it, whereas the cost post, don't believe me, ask around with your friends, see how they're treated, and see what type of salary increases you get in a cost position, basically, versus your friends who work with bringing in income. It's quite a steep difference. So that's the way to think. It was reinforced to me in my early days during the internship, seeing who had the high salary, who did not have the high salary. It was reinforced later on as well when I worked at Dell and when I worked at Google. And I also recently had a conversation with a friend regarding this, he basically paid for the tax calendar, so you could see what people earned in years past, and just looking at the ultra high earners and trying to find a pattern there. Yeah, it's quite clear what type of pattern emerged. Once again, close to the cash flow, the ones bringing in the business, those are the ones who received the high salaries in society. So that's something to think about, and really, really think about this. Try to take it to heart. Try to guide your career decision based upon it. If you're younger and if you're older as well, never too late. And just try to see where you fit in the corporate hierarchy, and that will really help escalate your earnings potential. It's not only getting a skill and developing it a lot, it's also, are you cash flow in or are you cash flow out? That's been it for this video, and as always, I hope you guys make a ton of money, whatever investments you decide to make. Take care now, bye bye.